This video is another round of in-depth commentary and analysis. There are two controversial topics that I would like to go through with you. One is the Sakigiri and the other is Riichi or Dama, which I think many people will have differing opinions on this. We are now at S3 being at third place at 18,000. We are only less than 2,000 above fourth place, but we are 14,000 away from first and second place. Before you even start playing this hand or even planning for this hand, it's very important to assess the score distribution first. So for those who are new, score distribution actually refers to the actions that you have to take differently based on the score. First of all, with this kind of large score gap from first and second, it's very important that you have to first protect your third place, not chasing after first or second. But to decide whether you should chase first or second or to protect your position, look at the score gap. If your gap from the player below you is much lower than the player above you, then of course you protect your position first. This is very important because it gives you a lot of clarity and unbiased judgment. You do not fall into optimism bias where you think that you can get first place by winning a mangan or haneman or baiman, or you also do not fall into a trap of pessimism bias where you think that you're not able to get first or second and you are also fear of losing your current positions and default to only protecting your position. With 14k above, I think there is two ways we can think about it in the most optimistic situations, which is direct hit a mangan or sumo haneman. And this actually relies on the potential of our hand. If luck give it to you, of course you take it. The most important thing we have to focus now is to not let fourth player win this hand. To do that, you can either win this hand or you increase the win rate of other players winning this hand. Now, I will go through in detail what does it mean by increasing other players winning this hand, or rather not decrease their win rate or not increase the fourth player's win rate. Let's move on with normal hand building with this hand first. The hand actually progresses quite smoothly, so I will go through briefly on the hand building and tile efficiency. So 3M versus 5P, you want a 4M Samenchan around your manzi shape, so 5P will be discarding first. Then you draw 4S to fill your Rankan. Here you can start to move towards Tanyao. So I clear this Penchan and keep a safe tile. 3S, you can look at it as whether it is a good lone tile to replace your 8P, get your E-pick or things like that. But because 1S has already discarded, I think there is not much value in keeping 3S. It's also important to note that you try not to be overly aggressive with this hand because you are not able to even deal into 2k hand. So 3S is not something I think is worth keeping it anymore. At this turn, we reach a perfect Ishanten shape. Do we Sakigiri or not? I'm not going to go through the whole concept of Sakigiri for perfect Ishanten shape, but if you are interested, please check out the video at the link on top of this video. With the Dora being 4M, usually a lot of players will Sakigiri this 3M here because you will want to fix your pinful and you want to utilize the Dora as much as possible. But it's also important to note that drawing 8P or 3M here will give you Tanyao. I think at this stage, and I look at other players' discard pool, they discard mainly terminals than honor tiles. When a player discard terminals followed by honor tiles, actually their hands are not very strong, as opposed to honors followed by terminals. And also, I don't see any 3 to 7 meter tiles at all. So I think I can afford not to Sakigiri first. The benchmark for Sakigiri 3M or 3-7 Musuji tile is usually from turn 8 to 13. At turn 8, this discard of 6P leads to a Chi by Shimocha. Here we have to be very careful. This player has open hand and is 2k. He's going for a quick 2k hand. We have to pay attention what is being discarded after this Chi 6P. A 9P. This is still okay because open Tanyao hands overflowing a 9P usually sometimes signal clearing a Penchan or clearing a pair. So this player's hand is actually not that fast. Maybe it's at 2 Shanten or 1 Shanten. Now at this turn with a draw of Sha, I think this is where it starts to get controversial. Do we Sakigiri 3M? 3-6M is actually quite a precious tile that I think a lot of players will want given that the Dora is 4M. If I Sakigiri 3M and Shimocha cheese is going to increase his hand value. However, it's mostly going to be 3-9 rather than a Mangan because I have the Aga 5M. Because 3M is quite an important tile, it's also very likely to deal in afterwards if you don't discard it earlier. I think this is very difficult to make a choice. I eventually choose to Sakigiri this tile because of two reasons. One is I'm not intending to mail this hand. Like, I'm not gonna chi 4p and wait on Shampoo 3m 8p because it's such a bad weight. I'm not gonna Pong 8p and Katamachi the 4p. I also think this hand is being forced to Riichi if I were to draw 8p or 3m because I can't Dama, right? I can't Dama for a 1p that I cannot win and only relying on the 4p, which is quite bad. I'm actually not very keen to Riichi this hand. If I were to Riichi this hand, it has to be a Haneman class because that's when it's worth overtaking first and second place. But if you're going to Riichi a 5-2 hand or 3-9 hand, 2k hand, etc., winning 8k doesn't brings you to first place. To sum up again, two main consideration is that I'm not intending to melt this hand. Second is if I Riichi, I want to Riichi a bigger hand. So I Sakigiri this 3m here now. But of course, I think the main argument here, why is it controversial, is because if Shimocha gets to chi this 3m, he's able to win from other players. And you are actually directly contributing to his win rate. This is the harder thing that I think is very difficult to prove, which is battle. Shimocha actually Teirashi at AP. That means he is clearing a Penchan. He have not Tenbai yet. (5s). Are we going to hold this 5s and not let him chi? Do we risk going to do into him later on? As the read just now, I don't think he's on Tenpai. And I think this 10 has a chance to win and even get Haneman. So I decided to Sakigiri this 5s again. As expected, this was a chi, a ramen chi, and Teirashi a pei. I think this is where I need to be cautious. It's very high chance that he's on Tenpai. Luckily, I Tenpai here. The next controversial topic here is, do we Riichi or not? If you Riichi and Tsumo the 4m, we will get our Haneman. And 4m doesn't get discarded easily even if you Dama. Feel free to disagree with what I'm going to say, but I'm just going to share my thoughts on why I decided to Dama. Because my read is that Shimocha is in Tenpai. If I Riichi, it's very likely that the first and second players are going to fold. That means I'm going to be on 50-50 kind of win rate against Shimocha. But the thing is, if I don't Riichi, my win rate is going to be higher because other players are likely going to discard 1m. They also do not want to deal into last place as well. Dealing into 3-9 or dealing into 1k even for the first place is not good for them. So they might discard 1m if at Dama. And because I read that the fourth place is already in Tenpai, I do not want to increase his win rate any further. He's definitely not going to fold if I have to Riichi. And even if I Riichi and I win 1m from fourth place, it does not change my position. I really only have to Tsumo a 4m before it makes my Riichi worthy. Or if I Tsumo 1m, I have to hit a Uradora. So the only benefit on Riichi this hand is really when I Tsumo this hand. Ron doesn't really help that much. I don't think the first place and the second place is going to do into me. So I choose to Dama. And then I win from this hand. Let's take a look at their hand. As red, this second place doesn't want to deal in, so he actually discarded 1m here. I was quite wrong about Shimocha. I thought that he's on Tenpai, but his hand was still so far away. He's forcing a Tanyao 1 Dora from... Let's take a look at when did he chi the 6p, right? So he chi from this hand, which I don't expect anyone to chi this and go from 2 Shanten to like so many Shantens. It's just taking forever to win a 2k hand. And there was no need for him to hastily chi this 6p because my early discard was 5p. I'm going to throw 3 6p again later on. His hand would have been way easier to play the moment he draw like 7p. To some of you who think that he did an okay thing because pen 7p is hard, never forget that you can actually upgrade your Penchan by pairing up the AP. So once you pair up the AP, it's still easier to go for your Tanyao. For those who are curious, what will happen if I have Riichi? Will I have win this hand? Just for the sake of it, we are not supposed to be result oriented. Right, this is, you drew a 7s here, right? So that means my next draw will be 1p, 1p, 2s, 6m, 7m. So yeah, I will not win this hand. I will lose 1k. I probably will get 3k. And in all last, if I were to get 3k with one Riichi stick at deposit, my gap with 4th place is going to be 4,000. But with one Riichi stick there, he just need 3-9 to overtake me. If I win 3-9 here, the gap between me and the 4th place will be 5.8k. So he needs more than 5-2, which makes it much more difficult for him to overtake me. I will close the gap with first or second place to a Mangan range. I hope you have benefited quite a bit from this video, and I'll see you in the next video.